Hello and welcome to the Mystical Junction. I am Tarot Zam, your host and guide to an exciting magical adventure that we're going to take together for the next half an hour or so. In this episode, I will share with you practical and inspiring lessons from the Tarot about the Ten of Cups, the Three of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords that can encourage you to think out of the square and help you make better decisions. I will guide some of our kindred spirits from the Philippines, Canada, and New Zealand via free readings and hopefully help them move forward. We will continue with connections and talk about karmic soulmates and codependent relationships. I will take you to the enchanting and energy-filled redwoods of the Whakarerewa forest in Rotorua, New Zealand, which you can visit and can serve as a sanctuary for grounding, healing, and recharging our energies. Last but not the least, we will visit the Wellington Cats Protection League and see how our animal friends are doing and find out how we can help them. So, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the show. For our tarot lessons, we're going to use the Connolly Tarot by Eileen Connolly. We start with the Ten of Cups. The little white book describes the Ten of Cups as: you are experiencing the happiness you desire, realization of personal hopes and dreams. In addition, we often work towards attaining happiness in our relationships with our family, partner, and children. We also strive to achieve a stable and loving environment for ourselves and the ones we hold dear. This includes our dearest friends. If we wish all hope and dreams to be as perfect as we want them to be, then we must also be able to give our best without holding back in the process. The universe will reward us for our good intentions, hard work, perseverance, and sincerity. If we are generous in giving our time, affection, and focus, then our rewards will be generous as well. The happiness and fulfillment we get from the realization of our hopes and dreams will last us a very long time. The Three of Swords. The little white book describes the Three of Swords as: it's hard to bear the pain of separation or to understand why we are afflicted with such deep sorrow. The pain is hard to let go, but it will go. In addition, we suffer hurt and disappointment when expectations are not met, most especially when our trust and confidence are broken. We work hard to nurture relationships, hopes, and strive to keep the peace and stability in our lives. Once trust is broken, it hurts us to the core. It leaves us vulnerable and wounded for a very long time. It affects our whole being, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. If we remain in this state of hurt, it will also manifest physically. Betrayal and disillusionment also make things worse and could mar us for life if we allow them to. It will take time, a great measure of willpower and faith. And if we try to rein in our emotions and think about the experience in a rational way, we will surely be able to see things that we have missed or ignored and be able to appreciate the situation for what it was and gain wisdom in the process. And this is the start of how we heal. The Seven of Pentacles. The little white book describes the Seven of Pentacles as: a cycle of change will affect your income for the better. Expand. Don't be afraid of success. In addition, the Seven of Pentacles signifies a continuous cycle of planting and harvesting, working solidly and achieving. It also signifies a constant and steady productive energy that we need to make the most of. We have no time to sit on our laurels and dwell on our past achievements. Instead, they must drive us to achieve more. Good times and abundance can be had if we are consistent and persistent. The only time to pause is to assess what we have accomplished and gauge where we are in the process of achieving. This also allows us to learn new skills and enhance our existing ones. We also gain wisdom, which helps in keeping us well-grounded even after all the successes we have had. Life is meant to be lived the best way we can. Achievements are not limited to the big dreams and the grand ideals we aim for. We also need to be able to appreciate the small successes we achieve in our daily grind. These small achievements are the crucial steps to completing the bigger ones. The Seven of Swords. The Little White Book describes the Seven of Swords as, things may not have worked out the way you planned. Maintain inner harmony. There are many paths to personal freedom. In addition, when we have put up so much effort into something and fail to result in what we expect, then we feel a great loss. We can even think that perhaps someone or something had conspired to strip us of the fruits of our labor. This may or may not be so, but the Seven of Swords helps us to understand that nothing is really lost and that we have gained great wisdom in acknowledging that sometimes things are not meant to be, or we sacrifice or lose some things in order to make space for bigger blessings. Most of us find this fact very hard to accept. Some of us could even linger in denial, which could only make things worse. Perhaps even lose more important things such as our faith, confidence in ourselves, our objectivity, and clarity of thought. Yes, we may lose some things, but in losing them, we also gain a significant realization of what things are actually more important. Remember, tangible things that are lost can always be replaced. Intangible things that are lost, like our virtues, principles, and our convictions, are much harder to replace, if at all we can ever replace them.
The Redwoods is located in the Whakarerewa forest in Rotorua, New Zealand. You can take a domestic flight to get there, or maybe have a leisurely drive to also see the other beautiful places along the way. What makes the Redwoods so enchanting? Trees are supposed to be a strong healing channel from the higher power. Their roots run deep into the earth, and their branches stretch up towards the sky, as if praying on our behalf. They can absorb the negative energies in us, if we allow them to, just as they absorb the carbon dioxide we exhale. They are strong, resilient, and full of wisdom, being witness to the many changes of the years. If you calm your mind, you might actually be lucky enough to be touched by the wisdom they possess through the sound of the rustling wind. The redwood is so magnificent in its ability to live for many ages and protect itself from fire. Its branches can fall off and propagate into a new tree, growing beside the mother tree. All these wonders you can see and feel as soon as you enter the redwood forest. From afar, it beckons you to come closer, to actually go into the woods, so you may be blessed and be reminded of how we are all connected on this earth. Once you are in it, you feel a very strong but secure energy in the air. Looking at the tall redwoods can only leave you enchanted. If you listen hard, you will hear all the amazing sounds of the insects, the birds, the rustling of the leaves that seem to be communicating wonderful and precious secrets. Although the redwoods of the Whakarerewa forest is just over 100 years old, they have seen, felt, and experienced many kinds of energies and changes that we will never be able to witness because of our short lifespan. The redwoods are so grounding, but you need to connect with them in order to experience all of this yourself and be open to their healing energy. If you close your eyes, breathe deeply and slowly, and let go of your thoughts and feel the redwoods that surround you, you will feel a warm tingling sensation entering your feet, going through the different parts of your body up to the top of your head. Calm your mind. Forget about your worries. Listen to your heartbeat. Focus on your breathing. And then hone in to the sound of the insects, the birds, and the rustling of the leaves. You will be amazed about how it positively charges your senses. Keep your eyes closed and visualize a radiating, brilliant white light coming from the redwoods, enveloping your whole being, dissolving all your aches and pains, and leaving you a permanent dome of light to protect you wherever you go. The redwoods possess the energy to heal and protect. If you always commune with them, perhaps they can even impart you with their longevity, resilience, patience, wisdom, and magnificence. Hold on to the state of being. Let it stay with you, in you, for a while, so you will know that you're being blessed with a great renewed sense of happiness, contentment, and peace, and a renewed connection to the higher power. It might be tempting to spend the night in the redwoods, but be sure to ask the permission of the forest administrators. The redwoods of the Whakarerewa forest is indeed soothingly powerful and enchanting. I hope one day you can visit it and truly connect with all the awesome energies around.
For a free reading, our first querent is Anna, a very shy lady from the Philippines. She sent in her questions, which I will read for you. Hi Zam, I would like to know about my prospects of finding work overseas again, how my circumstances will be if I choose to remain here in the Philippines, and what are my prospects of finding my mate and getting married. Hello Anna, thanks for sending in your question. I've drawn the Nine of Wands, Materialism or the Devil card, and the Knight of Wands for you. The Nine of Wands answers your question, what are my prospects of working abroad again? The challenges you face in finding the opportunity to go abroad is a test of your perseverance and commitment on your desire to actually go through it. The Nine of Wands is asking you to actively work towards this goal and not wait for others to offer help. You need to seek it. You have to look at all your contacts, opportunities among friends, acquaintances, or organizations to find work abroad. You are encouraged to flex your spiritual muscle in terms of believing in yourself, and that you will find a way. However, there is also a current and pressing issue you need to iron out that is actually stopping you from actively pursuing work overseas. You need to resolve this because you cannot run away from it. It pertains to a situation that is very challenging and can be compared to a spiritual boot camp for you. It could be an issue with family, a past flame, or a lingering situation that needs closure. Once you have sorted this issue and actively seek for work, you will be able to work overseas again. Materialism, also known as the Devil card in other decks, answers your question, how will my circumstances be if I choose to remain here in the Philippines? Currently, the Philippines seems to be represented as your worst nightmare, a place filled with worries and doubts. It is also a place where you are forced to confront yourself and your fears. There are only two ways to deal with this. First, you need to know why you feel this way. What are the triggers? How can you address them? What keeps you in the Philippines? Is it family, love, or something else? Is your heart in the Philippines, or were you running away from something and hoping to find peace when you came back? Second, You need to overcome this feeling by believing in yourself, planning, and finding answers. Unfortunately, you will not find answers elsewhere or from someone else. You will find the answers within you. Try to strike a balance in your assessment of your circumstances in order to see things clearly. This overwhelming feeling you have also comes from within, so you have the power to change them. Unless you have a clear understanding of yourself and your circumstances, it will not be easy for you in the Philippines. You will never feel at peace, and it will affect your well-being and productivity. In understanding, you will find your path and the power to make things better. The Knight of Wands answers your question, what are my prospects of finding my mate and getting married? It seems that you're still pining for your most recent ex. You need to move on from the past to make space for the new. In order to achieve that, you need to heal, forgive, and look to the future with hope and faith. You are also reminded not to be too impulsive, impetuous, and reckless in your pursuit of love. You need to temper your fire. You need to seek love for the right reasons. If you seek love to complete yourself or to be saved, then you might be in for a great disappointment. But if you feel complete and seek love because you have much of it to share, then you have a very strong foundation that can blossom into the long-lasting relationship you have always longed for. You also need to make sure that you will not be seduced by mere physical attraction and/or empty promises, as the Knight of Wands has a flair for sweet and thralling, but oftentimes unreliable words. If you harness the energy of the Knight of Wands in a positive light, then it will show you exactly how to spot a fleeting relationship and take them as a warning sign to avoid committing the same mistakes of the past. The universe knows what you desire, love and permanence. You will have it, provided you do what is right and try to use your fire in finding love and completeness within yourself first. When you are happy with yourself and love life as you should, then you will attract someone who will not save or complete you, but one who will appreciate you for who you are and help keep you grounded so that you may continue to grow as a person. Look inside your warm and generous heart and see it being reflected in your future mate. This is how you will recognize him. And when that time comes, make sure you grow steadily in love. I hope this helps you, Anna, and I wish you all the best. We encounter a lot of souls in all our incarnations. All of them have one purpose, which is to help us learn and evolve. However, oftentimes, we experience that learning may not come as smoothly or as easily as we want. We find ourselves in very unsettling, confusing, and chaotic relationships, and we wonder what we have done to deserve them. We always struggle in the process. When we do encounter such relationships, we often encounter a karmic soulmate. I often call them spiritual classmates. We have them in our lives because we have left some issues unresolved and perhaps even refuse to learn lessons these relationships bring. And so, we never manage to break the cycle or graduate to the next level. Until we learn our lessons, we will keep encountering them in our different incarnations. Karmic soulmates are not confined to romantic relationships, but could also present themselves within the family, friends, or sometimes even strangers. Their purpose, oftentimes unbeknownst to them, is to teach us significant lessons that have a great bearing to our long-term karmic development. Let me digress a bit. I have mentioned in the previous episode that we also often mistake a karmic soulmate as a twin flame encounter, and I really wonder why that happens. There are many different beliefs about twin flame and soulmates, but I encourage everyone not to just assume and base the meaning solely on what we read and hear. Try to listen to our spirit, connect with our higher self, then we will be shown the kind of relationship we are encountering at a given moment. A soulmate can be one who we journey through life together, a companion soulmate, perhaps growing spiritually side by side, and it could be one who could bring chaos into our life, but only with the intention of resolving lingering karmic issues, karmic soulmates. This kind of soulmate, a karmic soulmate, is often chaotic, perhaps because the amount of learning we need to achieve is of great significance compressed within a brief encounter, a lifetime, which is really quite short. Having said that, imagine ourselves being given the opportunity to get our most desired dream or goal through completing a task assigned to us. This opportunity comes from a being that can foresee the future and has the power to improve the lives of those it encounters, on one condition, that we pass the test. Let's think of a grand dream. Let's go for the winning numbers of the lottery, worth $20 million. Imagine all the people we can help with that amount of money. Now, let us talk about the task we need to do in exchange for the winning numbers. Let's imagine the task of learning a full edition of a Terra encyclopedia, full of wisdom and facts new to us, but those that govern the world we live in and could provide such a mastery of life. There are about 12 volumes, each having 700 pages, that we need to learn in a month. Yep, a month. After which we will be given a test to check the scope of knowledge we have learned in a month's time. If we pass the test, then we get the winning numbers, not to mention the secrets to life's mastery. I'm sure it'll push us to the edge, giving us terrible headaches, nervousness, and even dread from the amount of information to learn, digest, and retain. We could break from the pressure of fear of failing the test and missing the great opportunity, thereby failing ourselves with no one else to blame. And because such opportunity is rare and generous, we need to do it. We must do it if we seriously want to achieve our dream. Well, a karmic soulmate is very similar. We need to learn and retain very significant lessons in such a brief encounter to prepare us for an even greater challenge or a precious reward that would require a certain degree of spiritual maturity for us to accomplish or appreciate. Now, talking about chaotic karmic relationships, as humans, we would end up loathing these souls who have given us such a hard time and much great heartache. But as spirits, we will always be grateful to have encountered them because they help us grow and move closer to reuniting with our twin flame and our Creator. If we are spiritually enlightened to a degree, we will have the strength, patience, and faith to believe that everything happens for a reason and that in the end, we will always come out of a challenge wiser, stronger, and more empowered. We need to realize that when we talk about soulmates, they do not only pertain to the airy-fairy, lovey-dovey stuff, but in fact, it is a strong presence in our lives and we encounter them every day and in every way. If you wonder how, perhaps you should think about your most annoying colleagues at work. Maybe your difficult and moody boss. What about your unbearable mother-in-law? Or your annoying neighbor or unreasonable customer client? Quite stereotypical, isn't it? When we find ourselves refusing to leave our comfort zones, pretty soon we will encounter one. An encounter with a karmic soulmate is a wake-up call from the universe, telling us that we are on the brink of stagnation, that we are being stubborn and refuse to learn and improve ourselves, that we are soon going to be entrusted with such a precious gift. Hence, some spiritual exercises are required, but sometimes the time and the way we do things to correct such karmic cycle is not right. We become stubborn in trying to make things work the way we want to or think is best. If this happens in a relationship, then there is a tendency for it to be oppressive and could even bring about codependencies. Codependency is a term originally used for people living with alcoholics and drug dependents with regard to the way they react, behave, and respond to their partner's behavior and environment brought about by their partner's condition. But now, its definition has changed into a more expansive one. The most obvious symptoms of a codependent relationships are the presence of oppression, any form of abuse, the obsession and compulsion to stay in the very unhealthy relationship and environment, hoping to make it right, A codependent relationship also happens when only one of the partners is so keen on fixing the problem. They do everything in their power to make things right at the expense of their own well-being. They think that if they keep trying, they can save, heal, or be able to show the other the way to deliverance. For the person who keeps giving, he or she is misguided by his or her desire to take on the role of the savior or nurturer. He or she unfortunately puts more importance on this false hope, the relationship, and the other person than his or her own well-being. Sometimes, when we come across such a relationship, we need to acknowledge that the lesson we need to learn is actually not mending it or making it work, but of letting it go. By being subjected to constant pain and anguish, oppression and heartache, we are really not learning the right lessons. Remaining in such a continuous dysfunctional state can actually harm and destroy our spirit, which means it would take us more time to correct the wrongs we have done to ourselves through our own stubbornness and neglect. Think about it. And now, I shall leave you with these quotes to ponder. And the 10 rules for being human. Number 1, you will receive a body. Number 2, you will be presented with lessons. Number 3, there are no mistakes, only lessons. Number 4, lessons are repeated until learned. Number 5, learning does not end. Number 6, there is no better than here. Number 7, others are only mirrors of you. Number 8, what you make of your life is up to you. Number 9, all of the answers lie inside of you. Number 10, you will forget all of this at birth. This comes from the book If Life is a Game, These Are the Rules, written by Sherry Carter Scott, PhD.
Hello Sam, good evening. It's Vincent here. I want to thank you for the opportunity to ask what the universe has in store for me. My question is, I'm going through a lot and I just don't know where I am positioned right now in terms of career, personal life, and I'm pretty lost at the moment and I don't know why my life is on a standstill. Hopefully you can help me. Thank you.
Hello Vincent of Canada. Thanks for sending in your question. I've drawn the 6 of Wands, the Moon, and the 9 of Wands for you. The 6 of Wands answers your question regarding your career. You are shown the promise of success in whatever career path you choose. However, the road is never easy. The 6 of Wands signifies the use of all your skills, wit, confidence, and faith to bring about this promised success. Each career path you take, regardless of the outcome, contributes to making your sense of worth and faith in yourself so much stronger. You will need all these to strengthen the energy that would prepare you and make you worthy of such great success. As your career path is signified by the 6 of Wands, you have to find a job or a business that would bring out your inner fire. A career path that would awaken your leadership qualities combined with your warm, charismatic energy. This career path is not new. You do not need to be a pioneer, as the foundation had been laid by many ahead of you. But you will need to innovate and make great improvements. You will be able to inspire the people you meet and be able to gain a lot of allies and supporters in the process. Look at writing, the arts, motivational speaking, and innovation of products, services, or ideas. Brainstorm and come up with more avenues to consider. And then, assess if any of this bring about the great spark of interest and enthusiasm that would enable you to enjoy what you do and to see it through to completion. The Moon. The Moon answers your question regarding your personal life. The Moon represents your inner thoughts, emotions, and struggles about finding answers and making sense of them. As of now, you feel that there is so much you do not understand, and so it is. The Moon is beckoning you to discover and face your inner shadows. They are experiences that you might rather forget or ignore, but ones that need to be resolved. Oftentimes, with the moon, we would need the help of our loved ones to deal with painful and draining issues. If it makes you more comfortable, it is also best to talk to an expert or a person who can guide and help you in the long term, like a counselor, a priest, a confidant, or anyone you trust and who can help you as objectively as possible. Unless you're able to bring about resolution to this shadow, it will continually affect your personal life, leaving you in a state of confusion and stagnation. This shadow will leave you fearful and worrisome. Unless you confront it, it will strengthen its grip, affecting you emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually. You need to find out what is hidden so you can address it and also be able to correct your karmic energy. On the other hand, the moon could also herald a spark of genius which can revolutionize the way you see things and liberate you from this dormancy. By finding this genius, it could not only help you, but even perhaps be a tool for many others who are finding themselves in a very similar situation. Whatever the moon represents in your life, finding answers to both will give you nothing less than progress. Accept the moon's challenge and wield its influence to your advantage. The Nine of Wands reminds you of your purpose. Your life is actually not on a standstill. Your purpose is to continuously flex your spiritual muscle and gain valuable experience. The Nine of Wands confirms this and reminds you that you are equipped to face the challenges that come your way, and you were brought into this lifetime to solve them, not just for yourself, but also to help others through your strength, wisdom, and compassion, all born of your own experiences. However, the Nine of Wands also reminds you that there might currently be a significant hurdle that is not being addressed, which is why your life seems to be on a standstill. The need to resolve this issue is strong, as you also have the moon in your spread telling you to uncover it. If you are unaware of this hurdle at the moment, it is a good time to look within and try to assess what stops you from moving forward. It could also help if you make a note of issues you would rather bury and see how leaving them unresolved or solving them could influence your current circumstance. The Nine of Wands is calling you to move steadfastly and weed out this obstacle in preparation for a bigger and long-lasting success, which is well-deserved after all the challenges you have overcome. You need to pull through and claim your success, which will put you in a position to also help others find success, which is part of your purpose. But do remember, all the wisdom learned, the fire of persistence that made you slug it out to the end, and the compassion in genuinely feeling and understanding others who are also facing the same challenges. Hold on to these empowering virtues. They will always serve you well, no matter what your future circumstance may be. I hope this helps you, Vincent, and I wish you all the best.
I'm Heather. I'm shelter administrator, and so I take care of purchasing of all the supplies, and that includes food and cleaning goods and that, and I do homing duty. Homing is when people come in to adopt cats. We have 4 people that take a turn, so we're open to the public on a Saturday and Sunday between 12 and 4. The 4 of us that do adoption or homing duty, we're here in the weekend for that, so if people come in to adopt a cat. Well, it started maybe 30 years ago, and it was very small. We had a little small shelter at the back of the Penthouse Theatre, about 30 or 32 cats, and we were there for quite a while. And then a man who lived in Brooklyn, he died and left us his home. We were able to sell it, and we got our next shelter in Ohio Road. So we were there for a long time, and then 4.5 years ago we were able to build this. It was built especially for because in the summertime, with the nice weather and the sunshine, they love being out on the decks. have constant fundraising. About 4 months ago, we opened a little op shop, or pop-up shop, we call it, a pop-up op shop in Lyle Bay. That's in a shipping container, which we rent. And that's open on a Saturday, and so we tried that as an experiment, and it's really working well.
What about donations and volunteering?
Volunteering, well, of course, nobody gets paid here. Everybody's a volunteer.
Yes.
Everybody. We have a street day once a year, and as many people as we can get go out and collect. We have a scheme where you can sponsor a cat. Usually one of our long-term cats that's been here a long time or is not suitable for homing. So they can sponsor a cat and they nominate the amount of money they want to pay. So that's another source of income. You know, the vet bills, all the litter we buy.
The electricity to keep them warm, the food, the blankets, everything. Yes.
It's very expensive.
Yes.
So we're constantly thinking of ways to fundraise.
That's
all the
really
time.
good.
They come from all sorts of backgrounds. Some from elderly people that have either died and there's no one left to look after their cat, or also elderly people that go into care into a residential home, have to leave their cat behind. Sometimes people moving overseas and they can't take their cat. We get people that adopt strays perhaps and can't keep them for whatever reason, so we take those in. You know, sometimes we even take in cats from the vet clinics. People sometimes take a cat in to be euthanized for no good reason. And if it's a perfectly good healthy cat, they don't like doing that.
Of course.
So they ring us and see if we like to take it, which we do, of course. Really so our cats come from a huge variety of backgrounds. And on the odd occasion, we've even had a cat dumped on our doorstep in a box. People can give as little or as much as they like. Someone might decide they just want to pay $20 a month towards us. They just pay as little or as much as they like. It is sometimes difficult getting volunteers, particularly during the week, because most people work.
Maybe we should sort of call for volunteers.
Yes, that's right.
Maybe you can do that now.
Yes, absolutely.
Hi, Leslie.
Hello.
Yeah, how long have you been volunteering here?
About 2.5 years. I just love it. I adore cats, and it's just so great to be able to come here and see how well they're looked after and help them to find homes and socialise them, and for the older ones just to give them the affection that they've been used to, because many have been with someone all their lives, and then when that person has gone into a rest home and can't take the cat with them, they come to us and we try to find them another nice home, and if not, they're here for life.
How often do you come here?
I come once a week. I get here about 8:30. Just depends how many people are here and how much work there is to do, because there's the cleaning of the cages and the dishes and feeding and the litter trays
and the cuddling,
and we've got to give them lots of cuddles.
Yes. You also said that you have your own cat at home.
Oh, I do. And I just adore him, and I shall be going home and letting him out and feeding him and that, making my peace with him, because I've been over here for such a long time.
Yeah. They're all up and about, I think. I was looking for Annabelle and Caruso.
Oh, and they were cuddled up together out here before. Annabelle's a sponsorship cat because she lives with us permanently.
Yeah, and also I was thinking if Caruso's going to be adopted, then she'll be on her own. We should ask for people to sponsor both of them.
Look at them together. Chalk and cheese. They're lovely.
Annabelle used to be a feral cat, but then she still feels that people aren't okay. But she's been here for quite a while, and then Caruso came along with his sister Adelina. Annabelle just warmed up to him, and they've been always together ever since. They seem to be like soulmates, and
Caruso is the only precious thing for Annabelle. They just cuddle up and just stay together most of the time, and they're just so adorable and lovely. So if we can find people to sponsor them so that they won't be apart, they'll just stay together, that would be fantastic. And there are other friends just enjoying the sun. It's such a nice day today, so warm. It's just a perfect place for them, a safe haven. So this is basically one of the areas where the cats go and enjoy the sun. It's a roomy space for them, which is quite good. They have all sorts of playthings, like a jungle gym over here, and they've got their cushions and baskets over there to keep them warm when they're not playing. So you can see that they've got ample space here, which is really good. And with the open air, it's quite healthy for them. And look at one of our friends up there. Hey, Zach, come on. Come, Zach. Come on. Such a good boy. You're such a good boy, aren't you? Good boy.
Hi Jen, it's Serena. I just had a question. I've been with my boyfriend for almost 4 months now, and he's saying that we're going to get married next year. I just want to know, is he really going to get married and we're going to be together, or he's playing games with me or passing time? Just need to know if he really loves me, if he's going to marry me, and I just don't want to get hurt just about our future together. Thank you.
Hello, Farina of New Zealand. Thanks for sending in your question. I've drawn the 7 of Cups, Temperance, and the King of Cups for you. The essence of the 7 of Cups focuses on the nature of your relationship. Your cups are filled with concerns regarding stability, trust, respect, communication, intimacy, fairness, and most of all, love. You are advised to check whether this relationship is actually the representation of your dreams or is fast becoming an illusion brought about by the need to be with someone. Regardless of which, you need to actively work towards the fulfillment of your dreams. Dreaming and hoping needs to be complemented not just by action, but also with a truthful assessment of your progress. Otherwise, your dreams may not manifest. Your dreams need to remain pure, or they can turn into illusions if they are tainted with fear, denial, and desperation. Let your dreams direct your path. You need to trust yourself and be patient as you work towards building them steadfastly. If you honestly believe that stability, trust, respect, communication, intimacy, fairness, and love thrive in this relationship, then you have nothing to fear, but have all the reason to celebrate. The essence of Temperance focuses on his statement that he will marry you next year. Approach this concern with balance and level-headedness. Your primary anxiety is not focused on whether or not he will marry you, but on the existence of even the slightest doubt in your mind that he might be playing you or taking you for a ride. This actually tells you a lot. Your anxiety stems from your turning a deaf ear to the warning screams of your intuition. Your doubts and fears are symptoms of the dynamics between the two of you, which at the present obviously shows the lack of trust. What did he do to fail your trust? You have to be honest with yourself and acknowledge them. Do you both feel that you cannot be without each other? Do you sincerely believe that you're marrying because of love, respect, and a strong bond between you? If you are unsure of your answers and he marries you next year, you may be jumping into a situation with consequences that can affect you for the rest of your life. Marrying someone is a decision that should never be based on fear, need, uncertainty, and most of all, denial. If there is lack of trust, you are in for a big heartache and disappointment. And if you say that you don't want to get hurt, then you should accept what you see and decide if you want to protect yourself, your well-being, and your future, or risk everything by taking the plunge. The essence of the King of Cups answers your concern about your future with your boyfriend. A future infused by the positive essence of the King of Cups is what the universe wants you to look forward to. Assess your relationship based on the positive aspects of the King of Cups. If you see the positive qualities of the King of Cups in him, then you will have a stable, loving, and happy future together. The King of Cups is wise, kind, considerate, understanding, sensitive, and very loving. His positive aspects embody the ideal partner who will always be there for you. He will always put your best interest at heart. He will show you the depth and intensity of his love through his actions, gestures, and decisions. He will always look after your well-being and would always put your happiness as a priority. At his best aspect, he will never play games with you, but will truly want to build a loving relationship that would last a lifetime and one that others might envy. Yet, you're also being made aware of the King's negative aspects that could manifest in a volatile, emotionally manipulative, and exhausting relationship. The negative aspect of the King of Cups will put his emotions first, which is always self-serving. He would have need for you to stay with him and make sure that he employs all tricks in convincing you to believe his words and ignore his actions. He will try to win you back every time he messes up, and he's very good at it, that you become susceptible to participate in the development of a codependent relationship. It also points out to the state of denial, where you refuse to accept the nature of your relationship and choose to remain blinded by your strong emotions that have stopped you from seeing the truth. Be guided by the King's positive aspect. It will show you the right path and help you decide wisely and sincerely. I hope this helps you, Farina, and I wish you all the best.
For your free readings, please send in your question in MP3 form, no longer than 30 seconds. Please be aware that due to the volume of emails I receive, I might not be able to guide everyone all at one time. As you may have noticed, I try to make my readings as comprehensive as I can. In Enchanted World, if you have any experience that is eerie, mystical, extraordinary, spooky, or have been witness to an inexplicable phenomenon, please email your story. I encourage you to do so. Share them with us. If you have just bought a tarot deck or read a tarot book, we would like to know what you think about it. And if you do have some questions or would like to share your twin flame and soulmate experiences, we would be delighted to hear from you. All your submissions are most welcome, including suggestions and comments. Email us at mystical.junction@gmail.com. That's it for now. Thank you once again for joining us here at the Mystical Junction. I'll see you next time. Many blessings to you. This is Tarot Zam.